just beautiful.
What would you call Islamabad? Because that's where we're from. What would you call Islamabad? That's where we're from. I want to see what you guys think of that place.
Bro, I mean, I love
Don't call it
Islamabad, but
9
like
p.m. dead. Don't call it dead.
the general stereotype is that it's like it's asleep, it's dead.
But it's not
It's
though. Not
chill.
anymore.
That's how I'd call
Like, it
it.
makes-
You know, it's relaxed. Life is low key.
Neen City.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What is up, you guys, and welcome back to another Fire podcast over here. Today we have another friend of ours from Yan City, aka Lahore. His name is Shahroz, but he loves to go by the name Rizzy Rozeo. He is a rapper, he is a psychology nut, and he's also an architecture student entering into 5th year. You know, we're going to be diving into those topics very, very soon. But before we do that, Salman's going to take away the plug. Let's go.
Yeah, dude, Saad, you look so happy to finally have someone who's in architecture to talk to. So I'm very happy for you. Because
Fine, fucking know, right?
before we go any
I
further,
know, right?
hit the like and subscribe button and the bell button so you get notifications. That means so much to us, and of course it means a ton to Rizzy. So do it for Rizzy, guys, and
Do it for Rizzy.
Way more
let's
than...
go at it.
Do it for Rizzy, boys. Do it
Rizzy,
for
my
fucking
first
Rizzy.
question is, where'd you get the name?
So Rizzy is basically it's
Rizzy Rozeo.
Yeah, it comes from Rozeo. It's actually not Roseo. A lot of people make that mistake.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're forgiven.
Okay.
But Rizzy is it's funny, man. Like I started off as SAW. This is like 4 or 5 years ago, which is my initials, Shahroz Amjad Wattu. And a lot of people like they came up to me, they're like, "Yo, you should change your name, man." I don't know. Like it's not me, but I think people might get offended because of the name, because of its religious prestige. And I was like, all right, like
Yeah.
I succumbed to the pressure. I changed my name to Shedster, but then I went back to SAW, and then
Because fuck what
sometime like a couple of years ago, I felt like my music reached a new level, and so I thought, you know, fresh start, new name, and a lot of people were like, "Yeah, tu bas naam hi badalta rehta hai, aur matlab, what's going on with you? Why are you so indecisive?"
Yeah.
But I feel like Roseo's really stuck with me, and like Rizzy is an alias, like an offshoot of Rozeo, and I really enjoy being called Rozeo. A lot of people don't know my real name. Like my followers on Instagram, just like even Saad, like I was talking to him first time we entered on Zoom. He's like, "Yo,
Yeah.
I thought your name was Rizwan or something." I was like,
Dude, that was what I
"You
guessed.
can call me that if you want."
Yeah. Straight up, guys. You guys know Shahroz is called Rizzy. I'm gonna be honest. Rizwans are called Rizzies. Like, you know,
I think
some other R
it's
name.
all
but like,
Rizwans,
you know.
you're kind of you're taking away some fame
Yeah.
from all the Rizwans by being a Shahroz who goes by Rizzy. But
Yeah, man.
You
I
do
guess
you,
I am.
man. You gotta do what you
Yeah.
gotta do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
that's true. What I
I'm
gotta
curious
do
to know,
is
how is an architecture student? How is an architecture student a rapper as well? Like, tell me about that little caveat that you have. Like, how are you a rapper and an architecture student at the same time? Like I feel like those two fields don't really mix or traditionally. So like, expand upon that.
Well, I mean, to answer that, I guess I'd have to get into how I got into rap in the first place and when I got into rap.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
This is like 7-8 years ago. My brother was playing Eminem Lose Yourself, and उस वक्त एक छोटा सा study room था. It was a PC, and there was like these really old school speakers, and he was really like bumping that shit. And I walked in, I'm like, "What's this, man? This is like a new type of music." Because before that, I was listening to a lot of pop, and from there, like he introduced me to rap. He introduced me to Eminem, and slowly I started like feeling like I could do well in this field. And you know, I started doing covers with my brother, and somewhere along the lines I started writing my own stuff, started making my own beats. Or architecture was, it's like educationally that was like going on side by side. And it's interesting though, like you say, and a lot of people might think this as well, like the two fields of architecture and let's say music don't really, you know, make sense together. But architecture has really helped me with understanding like a new dynamic of music, because even in architecture you're designing and
I
you're
see.
trying to like put together a piece, an expression, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of stuff that I can't really explain, but you know, it's there. Like the influence is definitely there. It's really helped.
For sure.
Yeah. Buddy, I totally understand. I'm here with you. Like there are a lot of musicians who are around me who are also architects.
Yeah.
But to the common man, traditionally it doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, I
Traditionally,
understand that.
like to Salman, it probably did, or to the viewers, it doesn't really make sense. Like, you know, generally, like an architect and a fucking musician, like there's no correlation, but there is a subliminal correlation. It's design, it's a flow, it's an art form.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Salman, your turn.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's better to be an architect and a musician than to be a musician and someone who works at a fast food restaurant to pay the bills, right? At the very least, you got a very solid backup career right there. If not, I don't even know if you
Yeah.
consider that your backup. It's a solid career.
Dude,
to
that's
have.
like a bonus, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm actually very into architecture as well. So, luckily,
You are?
very luckily. Otherwise,
Nice.
it would feel like
Really?
a real hassle because architecture it gives you a really heavy workload, and so like to balance that out
It
with
does.
music, and on top of that, like imagine now that you're not interested in architecture, that would be hell. Like, I can't imagine it.
Oh yeah,
It would be.
for sure.
It will be. Rizzy, I'm curious to know, do you see yourself becoming an architect in the future? Like, will you be practicing, like, properly and shit? Or, like, do you just want to, like, get the degree and do music?
Yeah, I do want to practice. Like, I want to, like,
You
do
do?
both of the things in tandem. I want to be putting out music. I want to be doing projects. Like, that's kind of like a very vague vision, but, like, it's there for me. Like, that's what I'm working towards. Being really good at both of those things.
All right. Who's your architectural influence? I'm curious to know what type of design styles do you gravitate towards?
Yeah, when I got into architecture school, it was like the modern movement really inspired me. The modernist
Really?
movement,
Yeah.
like Corbusier, and I love Carlos Scarpa's work, the sculptural, dynamic of his work. I absolutely love it. It's very expressive, very artistic. Lekin recently, like since I've started studying psychology and I've been getting into some history of civilization and Islamic architecture, like that really impresses me as well.
Yeah.
The journey of
Really?
the journey of Islamic architecture, and especially in Iran, Persian architecture. And
They've got some good work on that side. They
yeah,
really
bro.
do.
और ये पहले साल में नहीं समझ आती. पहले साल में आप देखते हो कहते हैं यार मस्जिद ही है क्या है. I mean, there's nothing special about this.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And guys, for those of you guys watching, for those of you guys who might be interested in architecture school or architecture in general, architecture is like a very is like a type of field where you just learn with time. You don't know these things in first year. First year, people don't even know how to draw a straight line or don't even know what the dimensions of a brick are. But then you get to learn and understand and understand the mindsets of all these master architects that you wouldn't really be able to understand before.
Exactly.
And it's just
Exactly.
a journey, and I love it. For me personally, I heavily gravitate towards Santiago Calatrava and Zaha Hadid's styles,
yeah.
because I feel like because in architecture school they teach us to always fit your building within a context and fit your building within a city, and to make it fit in flush and to make it fit in snugly, and the user should be able to enjoy that. I'm of the exact opposite thinking. I have a big ego, and I'm like, I'd rather make a building that stands the hell out amongst the rest and invite people from all over the world just to come and see that building. Like the Hyder Ali Center in Azerbaijan or something. I think it's in Azerbaijan, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Zaha Hadid,
Zaha Hadid, yeah.
The context is, the context is very, 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 very plain. Like generally, it's very, in my opinion, vanilla. But then that building is just standing the fuck out, and so many people just go to that specific area just to see that building. So in my opinion, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the type of stuff that I gravitate towards.
Yeah, I guess I'll differ. Like, my opinion is quite on the contrary on this one, because I feel like
Yeah,
the fact that
a lot of people do have a contrary opinion.
oh yeah, man, and it's because like I've been reading these articles in my previous semester. Like we were given a lot of readings about postmodern architecture, and I did some of my own research as well. It's like you got to understand the world is becoming increasingly globalist and capitalist, and so people want an image. You know
Yeah.
about that book called
Yeah.
what's it? जिसमें ocular centrism के ऊपर बात हुई है. So ocular centrism is basically when you place the visionary sense on a pedestal,
I
and
don't know
you know
what
the
the
rest of it kind of collapses in the background, because people have always viewed the eye as
Okay.
you know, the precious of all the senses. And so people crave
Okay.
images more and more. You know, now you have technology, you got magazines, everywhere you have images and more images. And so people are more gravitated towards images. So I agree. That's what people want. And by that point of view, yeah, I mean, it works. People do come to look at whatever's standing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also think that according to the context, if you feel like you could put a building you could pick something up and put it anywhere in the world and it'll work, then I feel like that's not a good building. But that's just my point of view.
Hmm.
Oh, I like this. Someone disagreeing with Saad.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
always nice to hear.
Someone disagreeing with me is always nice to hear. Salman loves this little banter, back and
Yeah,
forth banter.
you know,
between
usually
the
it's only
guests.
me, but it's good to have you on board too, Rizzy. And
Yeah, man.
now that you guys have been able
Yeah.
to geek out over architecture, let's jump back a bit towards music. Rizzy, why don't you tell us and everyone listening more about what type of music you make and why? Like, I know you make rap, but what type of music, what type of emotions is your music focused around, and what inspired you to do it?
Okay, so I'm thinking back to my first song. It was called Skies. Like, I took it down now. This was like 4 years ago, I think. I made the beat on an online website where you could like produce music. It was very like very basic stuff, and I put it on SoundCloud. And what I was trying to do, I guess at the time, because when you start out, you're just like taking a lot of influence from everywhere, you know, the artists that you listen to. It's not really as original as once you really get into it. So I was trying to come up with clever lines. I was trying to make the beat, you know, banger. And from there it went to like when I really got into music. In my life, I hit a lot of lows in terms of self-esteem. And with me, it's always like,
Okay.
it was always like this roller coaster ride. It was like I'd go way down and then way high up again. Like I'd be like Saad, I'd have a huge ego when I went up, but then I'd fucking come crashing down. And
Yeah.
but I feel like my lyrics have sort of captured that desire to empower yourself, and it's always focused around mostly energy and self-realization, even though it may not seem like it at first, like just sounds like normal bars, you know, clever stuff, but that's where it stems from. And now I'm working more towards I have an EP that I'm working on, and
Nice.
there are some dark beats on there, and that happened like unintentionally, like it just came out that way. And when I was listening back to some of the
Yeah.
stuff I made during that time when I was, you know, in the shadows, I was I was taken by surprise, man. I was like, how have I made this? Like I didn't
Yeah.
even envision this. So where's this come from? So
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it too. Like it's very interesting to see something be created by you that you weren't even aware of that existed somewhere in your brain.
It's a
Crazy.
really introspective
Yeah,
view.
yeah, dude.
Super
I-
cool
I-
to hear.
I know where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from because oftentimes when I'm designing something or when I'm drawing or when I'm painting, I'm often this happens a lot actually. When I see the final product, I'm like, dude, I did not fucking see that coming. I did not expect me to create something, like to create that little element or to make that eye that good, or like I did not expect myself, like, you know, do something that well. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. Also, I see. I was stalking your Instagram, and I was going through your the feed, and I saw your song's name is Kamehameha, and I'm like, this guy likes Dragon Ball Z. He said, let's talk about that.
Let's talk
buddy."
about Dragon Ball Z. Let's do it. Yeah,
Man,
Dragon
that
Ball
was
Z.
yeah,
That's
really
cool.
chatty.
Like,
yeah.
yeah, when we were young, I'm sure you've all played Budokai Tenkaichi 3 on the PS2.
Hell
Tenkaichi
yes.
3 was the
The
fucking
best,
goat.
bro.
I bought a PS2 just for that game, and my parents were like, "Get a PS3. It's the new thing." I'm like, "Fuck no, PS2,
Yes,
Tenkaichi
bro.
3, yes." I want to.
Tenkaichi 3 is where
play
it's
with
at,
the boys.
man.
Yeah, best game in the franchise
Hands
ever.
down, man.
Fight me on
Dude,
this.
no, I
No
bought that
question.
game at
Fight
least
me on
20
this, yeah.
times because it never worked because you get them on like the cheap CDs from all these Pakistani stores. So I keep buying that game over and over again, but such
Yeah.
a good game.
So yeah, like the song Kamehameha is like.
Who was your main character?
My main character.
Who was your main character in
Dude.
Tenkaichi 3? Yeah.
Tenkaichi 3, I'd say Gogeta SSJ4.
4. That was your main character.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
What
fucking
was
I
bro,
your-
the
remember.
Big Bang Kamehameha, like. Or the Sepele, like, because it's a ritual,
Yeah.
right? You select. You remember those
Yeah.
5 versus 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd select like
5v5.
Goku and Vegeta, and then like fusion, and then fucking yeah, man, Big Bang Kamehameha the fuck out of the
Yeah.
opponent. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
Damn. My main, I had two mains. Either Kid Buu, because his moveset was god tier. Like, dude, you could
Nice.
combo anything off with that move, and because L2 triangle and L2 up
Oof.
triangle were fucking
Man,
god.
I don't know how you
were
guys
fucking
still
god
remember
tier.
this.
Like that rolling ball
Nostalgia,
thing.
bro.
Nostalgia. And second main is Goku mid, not Goku end. Goku mid Super Saiyan 1. Because of
Uh-huh.
his instant
Instant
transmission
Kamehameha.
final
Ooh.
Kamehameha. So instant Kamehameha,
Oh, yeah, I
best thing
remember
ever.
that.
Like anywhere on the map, you wanna get the guy, just teleport to where he is and just fucking blast him into.
Yeah, it's
into
all
some
coming back to
range.
Salman. I see it.
Yeah,
Amazing.
no, it's
Like,
all,
we're
it's all
talking
coming
about
back
it.
to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, Smart's like.
Okay, I 100% like always
Yeah.
love me a good character with a nice Kamehameha, but that one guy with the sword, is it Krillin or Yamcha?
Trunks.
Yamcha? Trunks,
Trunks.
yes, Trunks. I used to always play him. I'm a
Trunks.
sucker for good sword play, and that guy's sword moves, great like close combat right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
man.
Good times, good times.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oof. Have you seen Dragon Ball Super, bro?
No, man, I haven't.
You
No.
haven't? Dude, it's amazing. I've seen
Is
the
that the
entire
one?
series.
Is
It's
that the one in
amazing.
which the Super Saiyan Goku has blue hair?
Blue hair, Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan Red, yeah. Amazing, amazing,
Oh,
bro.
nice. All
It's
right,
an
I
amazing
think I'll
series.
check it out
Everybody
then.
loves it. Watch it all, bro. It's crazy. It's pretty
I
crazy.
might just fuck around and do that. Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were talking
Oh.
about the song Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't. To be honest, I don't really remember why I named it Kamehameha, or where even the lyrics came from. But I don't know. It just felt right. Like Kamehameha. Did you listen to the song?
It just felt right. I listened to a little bit, like around
The preview
15, 20
on-
seconds because
yeah.
it was on Instagram. But I had to go really quickly. And your flow is really good, bro. Like I really like your flow, which is something that
Thank
is
you,
pretty
bro.
interesting because I don't really listen to many Pakistani rappers. And Manu really impressed me. I listened to his music over and over again after having him on our show because I was like, I've got to check this guy out. I check out a lot of our guests' work because I'm really interested to know what they're into. So I will definitely be giving you an honest review of what I think of your work, and it's going to be good, bro.
For sure, man. And like speaking of Manu, we're working on an album together.
Oh,
I've
very
heard.
nice.
Yeah, it's called Shahi Killers. Shahi Killers, like
Shahi
killers.
Yeah. Oof. I love your name plays. You guys are just so good at that. Like Yand City, like who the fuck calls an album that and calls Lahore that? Dude, that's just amazing.
Yeah, and it's catching on apparently. Like Manu was telling me the other day, some random people calling Lahore Yen City who don't even probably know Manu is really catching on.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that must feel really cool
Damn.
Like, to-
Someone
to coin a word.
take it over, bro.
Like I love saying random phrases, and sometimes I'll catch on with my friends. And it's always great when like something that's complete nonsense that you made up starts catching on, people start using it. And I don't have any examples of like how I've
Yeah.
done that lately,
What-
but Yan City, I'd love to see that become like a big thing where everyone starts calling Lahore that. Be just beautiful.
What would you call Islamabad? Because that's where we're from. What would you call Islamabad? That's where we're from. I want to see what you guys think of that place.
Bro, I mean, I love
Don't call it
Islamabad, but
9
like
PM
the
Don't call it dead.
the general stereotype is that it's like it's asleep, it's dead.
But it's not
It's
though.
it's
Not
chill.
anymore.
That's how I'd call
Like a
it.
mix-
You know, it's relaxed. Life is low key.
Neen City.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Not at all, bro.
I'm gonna disagree with that, man.
I
Do you guys
disagree.
sleep a lot?
No.
Me, we sleep like what?
I mean,
The
yeah, we
normal
sleep
No, I mean
like
like in
a normal
Islamabad,
human
because like
being.
obviously the stereotype had to come from somewhere. I feel like maybe
Well,
people go to sleep early.
I'm
or-
telling you,
the thing is, like, restaurants close, like, there's nowhere to go after 11. That's changed now.
Oh
12.
man.
That's
12,
changed
17.
now, but like growing up, it was like after 10, what are you gonna go out and do? Like now you
Yeah.
can go out at like 1, 2. There's always somewhere to go.
Yeah.
But earlier it was different.
Rizzy, that stereotype was true. Like let's say 5, 6, 10 years ago,
Uh-huh.
when you had literally after 9 p.m. you had pigs roaming around the street because nobody was on the roads. That it was true then. But now you've got like people just chilling at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. easy doing
Yo,
their own
Salman,
thing.
Saad,
But yeah,
Saad
main
sounds
big-
kind of defensive right now.
I'm
am
feeling
defensive,
defensive
what the
too. I'm
fuck,
letting
you
him
gonna say shit
defend
to my
me.
city?
But
Come through.
everything he's saying is right. Like that's how it is.
All right. I trust you.
Yeah. All right. And on that bombshell, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We did not get into the whole psychology part, but hey, the time is up.
Hey, we'll have you
And
back later.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rizzy, for joining
No
us.
problem, man. It was nice.
We'll have you back.
Yeah, this was really
Part
nice.
2?
And exactly, yeah, part 2.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave the good, all
Yeah.
the better stuff for part 2.
Yeah. All right,
All right.
you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
you guys
Peace.
later.
Adios.
See ya.
Goodbye.